I'm through with love, I'll never fall again. Said adieu to love, don't ever call again. For I must have you, I'm no one.
Hey ladies,
The sun is shining,
the pina coladas are flowing.
and everybody's headed to the beach. You know what that means.
It's time for some fun in the sun.
No, it's time to work on your bikini body.
No, it's time to make a video encouraging bad habits and self-delusion under the guise of false confidence. Before I get started, I would just like to make an observation. Have you ever wondered why so many feminists are fat? I mean, not all of them are like that, but it seems like a lot of them are. I know why. It's not that being a feminist makes you fat, it's that being fat makes you become a feminist. These women are insecure about their bodies, and they don't like the fact that the average man prefers skinny women, so they latch onto an ideology that espouses the ideals of fat acceptance as well as shaming men for being so audacious as to have standards they don't live up to. It's obvious when you look at how far they take it, with campaigns like Healthy at Every Size, which promotes the pseudoscientific idea that obesity doesn't cause health problems, and Real Men Like Curves, which attempts to shame men for not being attracted to them, like they think sexuality is something you choose and which denigrates skinny women.
Oh, you like them skinny bitches? You ain't no real man. Real women have curves. This is what a real woman looks like. You ain't a real woman if you don't look like a shaved walrus like I do.
Before you slip into your swimsuit, you could start a grueling workout routine and manipulate your natural shape and skin tone to reach for an unattainable and oppressive idea of perfection.
Why do these people always say being thin is somehow impossible or unrealistic even though thin people exist? And what's the shit about manipulating your natural shape? Is this to imply that it's somehow unnatural to be anything other than an obese land whale? If anything, it's unnatural to weigh more than what your skeleton and ligaments can handle, which is why your feet hurt so much after a short walk, in case you were wondering. You know, when you go around telling women that being thin is somehow unattainable, what you're really telling them is that they shouldn't even try to improve themselves because they will never be any better than how they are now. I mean, isn't the whole point of empowerment to tell women they can do anything they put their minds to? But for some reason, when it comes to improving their health and figure, it suddenly becomes, no, don't do that, that's impossible, you'll never succeed. That sounds pretty oppressive to me. It's the type of shit that tells me the whole fat acceptance movement is less about female empowerment and more about a bunch of insecure fat people being unwilling to take responsibility for their own life choices, which, let's face it, kind of describes the entire feminist movement as a whole, doesn't it?
Or you could follow a few quick and easy tips for a self-accepting journey to the beach.
Yeah, let's all just accept that we're a bunch of fat asses who will never be any better and will probably die of a heart attack or stroke before we turn 50. And yeah, I get it, it's all about loving yourself and shit, but here's the thing. As much as you like to pretend that you love yourself and that you're proud of your body, it's obvious that you're lying to yourself because you push this fat acceptance bullshit. You are so insecure about your body that you've latched onto this healthy at any size and real women have curves crap because it lets you tell yourself,
I don't need to improve my lifestyle. I'm fine just the way I am. It's society that needs to change. Never mind the fact that my increased risk of diabetes and heart disease makes me a burden to the healthcare system and raises the cost of healthcare for society as a whole. No, I don't have a problem. Right, girls? Tell me I don't have a problem. Oh no, you don't have a problem, and neither do we. We're all beautiful snowflakes in this self-reassuring echo chamber. Yeah, fuck men for having standards. Why should I be expected to take care of myself? It's not like that's a red flag which signals to men on a biological level that I'm a poor candidate for reproducing and raising healthy children, which is why they have evolved a predisposition not to want to mate with women like me. Yeah, fuck those standards. Those standards are unrealistic. Never mind the fact that there exist women who actually live up to them. Yeah, fuck men for not wanting this body. They're shallow and sexist. Hello, ladies. Who wants to join me in the elevator for some coffee? Ew, get away from us, you gross neckbeard. We want a man who's tall, tan, has a full head of hair, chiseled abs, is good with kids, is funny, has a six-figure income, and a deep, booming, sexy voice like Dr. Shaym. Oh yeah, that guy is so hot. I can't tell if I'm getting wet just thinking about him or if that's just my crotch sweat dripping down my thighs. If only he wasn't such a sexist, misogynistic woman hater, I would totally eat his ass. Shit, I'd eat his ass anyway. It's been almost 30 minutes since we ate lunch.
you don't love yourself. It's obvious that you don't because you scoff at the very notion of improving yourself. If you really loved yourself, you would do what needs to be done to ensure that you don't end up in an early grave.
Want to turn your flab into abs in just 2 weeks?
Well, that's too bad, because that's not how exercise works.
Yeah, you look like you know a lot about exercise, lady. No, you're not gonna go from a beached beluga to fucking, I don't know, Charlotte McKinney or whatever in the space of 2 weeks just with exercise alone, because you also need a diet. But this video is making it sound like it's straight up impossible to lose weight and telling women they shouldn't even try. Just because you lack the ambition and self-control it takes to be healthy, that doesn't mean all women do. Stop fooling yourself.
And even if it did, no one else gets to tell you what your body should look like.
I know this
I'm gonna do what I want.
rebel mentality makes you feel good, but there's a reason societal standards exist. From a biological standpoint, the entire purpose of physical attraction is sex appeal, and the purpose of sex is to reproduce. The desirability of a potential mate entails their ability to produce viable offspring, and being fat does not indicate good reproductive potential. Being fat can be an indicator of undesirable genes, laziness, and poor health, as it is correlated with increased risk of diabetes, heart disease, stroke, cancer, and even birth defects. These are not the traits you look for in somebody who's going to be helping you raise your children. And even if we're not actively looking to reproduce, our evolution has hardwired us to avoid mating with those who exhibit such undesirable traits. And that goes for both men and women. And while it's true that there was a time when being fat was considered attractive, consider the fact that there was also a time when food was hard to come by. In those days, being fat was often taken as an indication that you had access to wealth and resources, and this was highly desirable in a world in which most people were starving. This isn't the world we live in today. In the modern Western world, almost nobody is starving, and in fact, being fat can actually be an indicator of poverty, as poor people are largely the ones who are eating the cheapest and most unhealthy foods, and these are the people who are the least likely to spend upwards of $50 a month on a gym membership. Now you might say,
Not all fat people are poor and lazy. That's just a stereotype.
but I can tell you that nobody gets fat by walking, and nobody gets a high-paying job by failing to self-improve or to exercise self-control. And don't come whining to me about how unfair I'm being.
I have an eating disorder.
I don't care. If an alcoholic gets in a drunk driving accident and kills somebody, do we excuse him for having a drinking problem? No, because whether or not you have some kind of disorder, you still have the power to make decisions, take control, and overcome it. Unless you have some kind of legitimate health condition that physically prevents you from losing weight, stop trying to absolve yourself of personal responsibility.
Here's an easy, guilt-free recipe for your summer barbecue.
Go to a barbecue and don't feel guilty about it.
That's right, girls. Fuck counting calories. Being conscious of what you put into your body is a tool of the patriarchy. As we all know, maintaining a healthy body weight is an unattainable prospect, and the very idea of it is oppressive. The denialism of the fat acceptance movement is both staggering and dangerous. Overweightness and obesity are among the biggest societal problems facing the Western world today, especially in the United States. We should not be promoting this. Obesity has been linked to numerous health problems, including heart disease, diabetes, and even some forms of cancer, and more. And if you're fat, it's not just your problem. The obesity epidemic contributes to the rising cost of health insurance, and this restricts access to healthcare for everybody. Your fatness is making it more difficult for other people to afford healthcare. Your fatness is hurting society. Every burger you eat makes you a bigger burden on the healthcare system. Every burger you eat raises the cost of healthcare, and every little increase in the cost of healthcare correlates to somebody else with a potentially life-threatening illness, delaying getting diagnosis or treatment. Your fatness is killing people. That is a fact. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but facts don't cease to be facts just because you don't like them. Your feelings have no bearing on reality, and the reality is your dietary choices are a problem. You should be ashamed of your fatness, and you should be working to change it. And look, I have fat friends and family members. You know what they say when they're told they should lose weight? They don't say,
How dare you fat shame me? I'm beautiful just the way I am. I don't need to improve. Society needs to change their attitude. If you don't think I'm pretty, then you're a misogynist. Check your skinny privilege.
No, they say, yes, I know, I'm working on it. That's because they accept the reality that being fat is objectively a bad thing, and that's regardless of whether or not anybody finds you attractive. And since I brought it up, I wholeheartedly reject the notion of skinny privilege, because if you live in a time and a place where it's even possible for you to become fat, then you are privileged. If you live in a time and a place where you don't have to work in a field just to scrape a living together, then you are better off than most of the people who have ever lived, and you are better off than most of the people around the world alive today. So some people make fun of you for being fat. Boo-hoo. You should be glad you can even get that way.
Contrary to popular belief, your body needs food to provide energy for basic functions. That's science.
Whoever said it didn't? The problem isn't that you eat food. The problem is that you eat the wrong kinds of food and that you eat too much. This is a straw man argument if I've ever heard one.
Worried that your almost naked body is inappropriate for most public places?
Toss that tarp with the confidence that nothing is big enough to cover up the inequality that women have been subjected to for hundreds of years.
Inequality? Do you honestly think men don't also feel that they need to live up to societal standards? Literally, the only thing a woman has to do to be considered attractive is not weigh 300 pounds. You don't even have to look like a supermodel. You just have to look like you take care of yourself and actually give a shit about your appearance. For men, it's not that simple. We're expected to be tall, have a full head of hair, chiseled abs, muscular arms, a strong jaw, a six-figure income, to be good with kids while at the same time being willing to relinquish custody to you, to be sensitive and caring but not emotional, to be passionate but only about the things you want us to be passionate about, to be strong and assertive while at the same time capitulating to you and agreeing with everything you say, to look past all of your flaws while you constantly scrutinize ours, and to be willing to sacrifice yourselves mentally, physically, and emotionally when you demand it. And to top it all off, we're expected to put up with the bullshit of constantly being shamed for having the audacity to be attracted to women who are actually healthy. Fuck you. Now, of course, I know some dumbass is gonna come around and say something like, "Oh, you're just a bitter, angry man with women issues." To those people, no, I'm not. I'm a bitter, angry man with moron issues. If you people are going to play this, "Oh, us poor oppressed women have such unfair standards imposed upon us by evil, privileged men" bullshit, then realize the door swings both ways, asshole. Oh, and by the way, the majority of body shaming is done by women.
Now it's time for the ultimate bikini body challenge.
Read some literature that challenges the cultural ideas of what constitutes a bikini body.
That's right, girls. Lie to yourself. Fill your heads with self-aggrandizing, feel-good bullshit that appeals to your insecurities. Yeah, you're totally not responsible for your own dietary and lifestyle choices. It's society that has a problem, not you. You're just fucking perfect the way you are. Keep shoveling those hot dogs down your meat chute. That'll show the patriarchy and totally won't lead to you losing a foot to diabetes.
Don't forget, your brain is a beautiful part of your body too.
Just like the rest of you, your brain is not beautiful the way it is. Maybe you should try exercising it by reading intellectually stimulating content that actually challenges you instead of confirming your bias, reinforcing your victim complex, and telling you you're a special snowflake while absolving you of all personal responsibility. See, this is why I can't take modern feminism seriously. You claim to be empowering women while at the same time trying to convince them that they're perpetual victims who shouldn't be held accountable for their own decisions, and treating them like they're so fragile that they can't even handle being mocked for their weight. I'm sorry, but I respect women a little too much to subscribe to that way of thinking.
So while you're relaxing on the beach, casually reflecting the male gaze.
Wait, you're tanning now? Well, that's not very inclusive to albinos now, is it? Check your melanin privilege.
Just remember that everybody is a bikini body.
And aspirational tropes of beauty are 100% BS.
That's right, girls. Don't even try to improve yourselves because you will fail. It's all part of the patriarchy anyway. It has nothing to do with avoiding entirely preventable health problems and not being a burden on society, but everything to do with the male gaze. Diabetes and heart disease are myths invented by men to oppress women. It says so in these fucking books. So the next time you're out of breath and on the verge of passing out after climbing 12 steps, that's just your free feminine spirit filling you with self-love. Be content with the way you are because that's as good as you'll ever get. Don't try to improve because you can't. If you do, you're just giving men what they want and living under the veil of internalized misogyny. You don't want to be like these women, do you? Of course not. These women are fucking disgusting. Look at them. They're so unrealistic. I mean, 5'4" and 120 pounds? Ridiculous. These anorexic bitches aren't real women. Don't you want to be a real woman? Then keep inhaling those sausages. Don't be prettier than us because that makes us feel bad about ourselves, and our feelings are the only things that matter.
Have a great summer!
Go fuck yourself. If you like what you just saw, hit the like button below, share this video, leave a comment, check out my other videos, and don't forget to subscribe for more.
I'm through with love, I'll never fall again. Said adieu to love, don't ever call again. For I must have you, I'm no one. And so I'm through with love. I've locked my heart, I'll keep my feelings there. I have stocked my heart with icy Frigidaire. And I mean to care for no one, because I'm through with love. Why did you lead me to think you could care? You didn't need me, for you had your share of threads around you to hound you and swear with deep emotion, devotion to you.